is going to backfire on him.
It won't backfire at all.
Here we are openly speculating, and Dave hits the record button.
Oh, I did well before we speculated. Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
I'm Gary.
And I hit the record button whenever I want. Whether Gary's paying attention or not doesn't matter. So we're going to talk about that famous actor, Omar Tariff.
Yes. Omar Tariff from very famous actor from the movie
Tariffs. How to Succeed in Tariffs without it really trying?
No, I was thinking more of
the Tariff, the Gold Watch, and everything.
God.
Tariff. That World War II Pearl Harbor movie.
Yeah, that's the movie. That's the one.
The Tariffing Inferno.
Tariff of Arabia.
Ah, I was close.
He was in Tariff of Arabia.
Right. The Gay Tariffy.
No. Hey, so
Kill a Tariff. To Tariff a Mockingbird. Oh, I like that one better. To Tariff a Mockingbird. For whom the tariff tolls.
Yes.
The Tariff of the Baskervilles.
Keep going.
Monty Python and the Holy Tariff.
Yes, that's a good one.
The Star Wars, The Tariff Strikes Back.
Revenge of the Tariff. Luke, I am your tariff.
Oh, I thought maybe you were going with Booger and the Revenge of the Tariffs.
Oh, yes.
Gilbert and I forget the other guy's name. Anyways, tariffs. We wasted 2 minutes on tariffs and bad.
My goodness. So we just did a reading on the southern border and whether Trump was going to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. And we just sort of segued right into the tariffs, the current situation with the tariffs, and something that some of the strategies China's employing. And it seems like a good topic to read on right now. One of the articles I saw that I was reading today was that Trump's having a real hard time finding any takers for these tariff negotiations. Now, yeah,
how many people did they have? How many countries are lined up? Which is why you had to cancel.
75, I think, was the number that sticks in my small brain. There's some large amount of countries that are clamoring to cut deals, yet no one wants to be first.
Can't imagine why.
And Trump and them are like, oh, we'll cut a great deal for the first person to cut a deal. Well, it'll make a super special deal. But go figure. Since all the other countries on the planet have adults leading them, they don't want to enter into some long-lasting agreement, however long a lasting agreement could be with Trump around. But some long-term trade agreement worth billions of dollars that's not necessarily in the best interest of their citizenry, right? So they're not going to cut deals unless there's benefits to them and their citizens for it. Acting like adults. And so now Trump is dying for a victory, and no one's giving it to him. Oh. And then you brought up Japan and probably China's dumping treasury notes, tanking the bond market.
Yep.
Yeah, so Japan and China, I don't know if they're the two top foreign investors that hold treasury notes as far as country. But I remember Japan was over $1 trillion and China was 900 billion. I think our entire debt is 35 trillion. So, they hold some significant amounts of money of treasury notes. They have a lot of debt. And
countries holding the most U.S. debt are Japan, China, and the United Kingdom. Japan holds the largest share with approximately $1.1 trillion, followed by China at $768.6 billion, and the UK with $3 billion less at $765.6 billion.
Okay, so between the three of them, they have about 3 trillion, so about 10% ish. Yeah, we're playing nice round numbers here, but 9-10% of the entire U.S. deficit is held by those three.
Sure be a shame if they didn't want to hold that debt no more.
No, because in order to make that debt more appealing for people to take it on, you have to raise the interest rate, and then that costs more.
Leading to inflation, to devalue the currency that you're in.
Yep. And all Trump will do is we'll just print more money.
Yeah, well, that leads to deflation, or right. I'm sorry, inflation.
Yep.
To devalue the currency.
Devalue the currency, prices go up. But then your exports will be so much more cheaper and more interesting to people who want to import U.S. goods.
So let's take a look and see what the current status is with tariffs these days. Before we go 10 minutes into this thing, before actually, getting into the whole
for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, so that whole time you weren't shuffling your cards. Great.
No, I was
lovely. Stupendous.
I like doing solo readings every once in a while. So
I can't imagine why.
What's the current
status? Does he yell at you a lot?
Not David is very quiet. The current status on the tariffs. So the foundation is the Two of Pentacles. You like that. So right now, Trump's trying to find that balance. The balance between bluster, I'm going to do this, I'm really, really going to do it, versus...
Are you watching, Mom? Mom, are you watching, Mom?
Yeah, exactly. I'm really going to do this, versus, when his advisors are like, this is really not a good idea. So he's trying to strike that balance of showing MAGA that I'm doing what I said I was going to do, but actually trying not to completely kill the economy while doing it.
Right.
The challenge is the Hierophant, the government, large agencies, large financial institutions, other governments. No one wants to sign up for this. He's basically strong-arming using the bully pulpit. And, other countries have egos too and, self-esteem, and they probably aren't appreciative of all the whipsawing that Trump is doing to the global economy. Underneath it right now, it's got the Queen of Cups, just trying to keep a lid on your emotions. They're probably all looking at Trump thinking he's a complete and total idiot for what he's doing.
You can't say that about the President of the United States.
Yeah, which is why it's the Queen of Cups. They're currently not saying it, but they're sure thinking it.
Stop. Oh, here's my cudgel.
In the past, you got the Ace of Wands, new actions being brought forward. This could be Trump's tariffs. This could be countries getting together and starting to talk about, hey, maybe we should lower trading restrictions amongst us and form our own little trade group.
You've heard the adage, if your only tool is a hammer.
Yeah, exactly. It's great if there's a nail, but it's not. If you want to hang up pictures on the wall, that's great. But if you want to change a light bulb, it's not necessarily the best tool. Current energy around this is the Knight of Wands, taking a pause from all the actions, all the battles. So basically, Trump is taking a pause. Okay, who wants to make a deal? And no one's stepping up. Overarching energy is the Devil. This is just Trump being Trump. He said he was going to do it. This is what he's going to do. And he's really chained himself to this. He is convinced that tariffs are the panacea to all of the United States problems. Everything can be solved with tariffs, apparently.
Because he's a simpleton.
Yeah, the lesson to be learned, the lovers, this is about long-term, big picture relationships. Trump doesn't understand this because he's transactional.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about what did you do for me on the last transaction, or how can I get over on you on the next transaction? It's not. This is about developing long-term relationships. He's all about transactions. Same people, different scenarios. Outcome, Page of Wands. He's going to have to come up with some new messaging. A new messaging coming forth, or a new set of actions coming forth, because what he's doing now, it's not cutting. It's not going to cut it.
Yeah, his his transactional nature is going to drive other countries to make deals not with the U.S.
Yes.
but with other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And the illustration for this was when Trump did his tariffs on China in his first go around. China made sure that they made a bunch of deals with Brazil for pork products and soybeans and stuff like that, which Brazil was more than happy to take on those contracts. It took them a little bit to get up to speed, but when Trump tried it again, China doesn't care. Fine, we get most of our beef and pork anyways from Brazil now, and we get our soybeans from there too. So go ahead, tariff the living bejesus out of that stuff. We're not buying your stuff anymore. And then these poor farmers go broke because,
yeah, and the other thing is too is with that lover's card, the United States, because Trump is just turning on the tariffs, turning off the tariffs, doubling down on the tariffs, changing the percentage, changing what's excluded, changing what's included. We're not a reliable partner right now.
Nope.
So
that's what I'm saying. You're going to drive. China's not coming back to buy soybeans and pork and beef from us. They're going to get it from Brazil. They got a better deal over there. Maybe, who knows who the next president's going to be, and the one after that, because you might get craziness every other cycle. That's no way to run a business, as you pointed out. All right. So, as things calm down, what's he going to do with China and his tariffs? If, assuming that these other countries start building up deals with other countries, not the U.S., how's Trump going to react to it? How he reacts to everything. Ace of Wands. He pulls out his one tool, which is a hammer, and he's going to change that light bulb, whether you like it or not. And he just thinks it's going to lead him to victory. The other thing is, it's funny. They talk about Kim Jong-un. Every time he's ignored, he threatens to do nuclear weapons toss and saber rattle so that everybody pays attention to him. But for Trump, he really does think that, okay, this is my path to victory, is my tariffs. But underneath it is the moon card. It's lunacy. The definition of craziness is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different response,
a different result.
Yeah, and he's going to get, if he tries doing tariffs again, and he will by the looks of this, he's going to get the same response. He's not going to understand why it's not working, because in his mind, this is the answer. He surrounded himself with the Peter Navarros of this world who are telling him, this is what you need to do. And it was just, Japan quietly played a strong card that they held, and it rocked the markets and sent people scurrying, especially Trump, because he and his buddies weren't ready for that, for Japan to do what Japan did. So they kind of have to regroup and rethink their plan before they decide they want to destroy the U.S. economy.
Yeah, they've got 90 days to sort it out.
Yeah. In the past, you got the Judgment card. The world united to answered his call, and it's funny. They're uniting, but they're not uniting with the U.S. They're united against the U.S., which is an interesting one. The Great Divider in Donald Trump is actually uniting other countries. Current situation is the Queen of Wands. Oh, that's funny. Ukraine is actually offering to buy arms from the U.S. Will the U.S. actually sell them arms? After complaining that we give them stuff for free, and now Zelensky's like, we'll buy stuff off of you. But, now we have to decision make. You got your tool. When are you going to use it? Who are you going to use it on? I do think he's disappointed that all these countries aren't racing to his door to cut deals and that he can grift and self-enrich himself off of. There's also there's maybe just a little bit of self-doubt creeping in, that maybe he doesn't quite know what he's doing, which is, for a narcissist, a horrific place to be. A little self-doubt. He's always so confident in everything he does that he's going to be a winner. but it didn't work out that last time. Lesson to be learned is justice. I do think
poetic justice.
Yeah, it could be poetic justice. This could be challenges in the courts. This could be Congress taking back their power, so to speak, and then that gets challenged. So one disappointment could be that Congress takes its power back. It gets challenged in the courts. The other is, you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. That's your reward for doing something stupid. Out comes the Five of Swords. No, he's going to try it again. This is U.S. isolationism. Now, this is my great idea. This is my, it's funny. Putin's great crowning moment was going to be taking over Ukraine and adding Ukraine back into Russia as he starts to recreate the Soviet Union. For this, Donald Trump thinks his crown jewel is going to be these tariffs, and he's going to somehow make America great again. Really, what it is all about self-enrichment and making Donald Trump lots of money again, which is why he doesn't care if anything makes sense, because he's playing by a different set of rules. And no, he doesn't care. To him, it doesn't matter who gets hurt in the process as long as he's winning.
Yep.
So I expect him to not walk away from the tariffs. I expect him to revisit the tariffs, because that's how he's going to win the game.
Okay, so a little four-carder. How is that going to go for him?
Yeah.
So if he just 90 days goes by and he just throws all the tariffs back on, how's that going to go for good old Donald? Okay, Ace of Swords. Sword says, time for the truth. Truth must come out.
The moment of the truth.
I gave you 90 days. Now I'm going to show you who's boss. And there's Dave's card, the Justice card. Once again, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's going to be poetic justice coming. You may find that just people just will stop trading with the U.S. We don't have any manufacturing here. We need their stuff more than they need ours.
Unless Congress comes through, we'll see.
That could be
special interests get a hold of Congress.
There's a choice. It could be Congress. It's like, okay, this is not going the way we want. It's time to make a choice. We're not happy with the options that are presented to us, and we got a tower moment coming. That this is going to come crashing down on us.
Yeah, I think if he imposes those tariffs, it's going to be bad for the U.S. It looks like there's a reasonable chance that Congress is going to step in and say, "Yeah, I don't think so."
I mean, a tariff.
That's a path that can happen. Doesn't mean they will do it, but that is a path. I guess it really depends on, if the fund managers all get a hold of him and say, "This guy's crazy. He's crazier. He's as crazy can be. Do something about it. Do your jobs for a change."
Yeah, someone in Congress has to get a backbone.
Yeah, and those seem to be in short supply these days.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't put the farm on that.
All I got.
All right. Will Congress have a backbone?
Yeah. Let's see. Nice and big. Well, they're having acupuncture, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
those are all going right into the old backbone there.
It's hard to find the mouse here. Okay. Will Congress find a backbone? 10 of Swords. Well, they're looking for it.
Yeah.
They're acupuncturist type of way.
Oh, there's your tower.
Got the Tower, the Page of Wands, 9 of Wands, and the Magician. If they choose to develop it, and that it's basically their choice if they want to do it, they could put a rapid end to this whole problem of tariffs. If they choose to do it, they could do it. Will they choose to do it? You got endings here. This could be the endings of things, but you have to show some courage. You have to be willing to fight that fight. And I ideally, patriotically, yes, they would do that. For the best of the country, to protect the Constitution, yes, they would do that.
If they were interested in doing that.
If they were interested in doing that. And unfortunately, especially with the party currently in charge with the majorities in Congress, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately going to come down to these like hands-off protests and these other protests where you've got so many people out there making noise and that Congress can't ignore us anymore. Right. You know, those town halls, people showing up at the congressional offices or whatnot, flooding the emails, flooding the voicemails, being unhappy with these tariffs and what it's doing to the economy. At some point, you know, these congressmen want to be reelected. And that's when bone growth starts. When they realize that unhitching from the Trump train might give them 2 more years. Don't hold your breath, folks.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath either. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting our channel. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like these videos, subscribe. We put out a new video every night at midnight. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I read them all, respond to many.
And if you're concerned about tariffs, send Gary your favorite tariff haiku.
Oh, God. Oh, my.
He's a big fan of haiku.
I am? Yes, of course. Who isn't? Okay. You know what I am a big fan of?
Offering things that those other fake Twin Tarot channels don't offer?
Yes. Like acknowledging all of our fan base that watched Romper Room and were bitterly disappointed that their names were never called out.
See, that's how you know we've got real watchers here, because the Russian bots wouldn't know anything about Miss Marianne and her magic mirror. Or at least have little hand puppets that say do be and don't be.
Yes, exactly. And then, so we've got Dorian, who was not called out on Romper Room.
Oh, yeah. 4 points. Hold that pain close to the chest.
And then Roselle, who was actually on Captain Kangaroo.
Now that's super awesome. I hope. See, here's the ping pong balls falling down. That Mr. Rabbit.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Rabbit dumped on.
I forgot about the ping pong balls.
Yeah.
That involved that little rabbit. I know he always used to steal the carrots.
Mr. Rabbit, yes. I believe that's his name.
Peggy Griffith, because Peggy was never going to be called out on Romper Room.
No, that's because Peggy was in the Summer of Love.
And then I'd like to wrap it up with Rosie Esparza.
Play the lottery, Rosie.
Yay! I like the name Rosie.
You'll win your $2 back.
So when I say the name Rosie, Dave, what do you think of?
A tern?
No, not an Arctic tern.
An Arctic tern?
Do you think of a red Miata?
I do indeed.
Yes.
That is Gary's name for his little 1993 red Miata.
22 years ago, I bought a Miata and I named her Rosie. So thank you, Rosie Esparza. And for the rest of us out there who maybe don't have a red Miata named Rosie, you've got the Hangman.
You can go get one. They're inexpensive.
Yeah, they're not terribly expensive. They're a whole lot of fun. But it just depends on how you look at it. Right now, I can't look at it because my son has it. He's racing around down in San Luis Obispo in it.
Where's his car?
It's in the garage.
Oh, he just decided to swap for spring?
Yeah, he swapped cars. He's going to be home this weekend, so he wants to see if he can get together with you and Shelly while he's in town.
We'll take him on a march with us. We got more protests to go to.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. On Saturday, did you sign up for Saturday?
Well, it's not really a sign up. I think we're just going to head right back over to the Civic Center in San Francisco.
That's good.
If I ever get off my butt, I have a concept of a plan for a sign to make.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
I was signless. It would be good to have a sign. I'd feel more like part of the crowd.
Because I think the theme on this one is we don't need kings or something like that. Mm-hmm. So my concept of a plan for a sign is, it probably would be a sign that's going to be shaped like this as opposed to like this. Uh-huh. And the top of the sign would say, the only king that underneath we need, and then you have a picture of Martin Luther King's head in the middle.
Yeah, there you go. That's nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
That would be. I think that would cover up many bases.
Indeed.
Or the only U.S. king, or something like that.
I've got 2 orange
cats.
Elvis.
You can put Elvis on there too.
Yeah. Tony the stray cat just showed up, so it must be time for dinner.
All right, then we will let you go. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Take care. Bye.